Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today I'm going to do a story titled, I, a 26-year-old male, broke up with my girlfriend, a 22-year-old female, after finding out she cheated. However, things aren't as clear as the usual cases, and I'm looking for advice. And a shout out to Steve for sending in this story. And guys, like the title said, this is about a guy who dumps his girl after finding out she was cheating. He did the right thing. However, the real story here, where we can learn from, is the amount of BS she puts him through afterwards to justify the lies, the manipulation, the gaslighting, the mind games. It's absolutely unreal, but sadly all too common. And I know you guys that have been around the block may have experienced this in your life, or you've heard this in other stories, but it's a good one here to really show you the kind of crap guys can get, even when their girl is totally in the wrong, the way they try to justify things, or make guys be like, did I really overreact by breaking up with her, that type of thing? And it's really important to see this here. And again, he does the right thing. He gets rid of her, and I'm happy for that. But still, so that'd be a good one to go over here, guys, making that point. And hopefully none of you experience this, but if you do, you understand, and it's always best to cut ties, move on. So it starts off, says here, I, a 26-year-old male, broke up with my girlfriend after finding out she cheated on me over a year and a half into our relationship. Unfortunately, things aren't as clear-cut as most cases, so I'm looking for some advice. Well, they're not clear-cut because she's throwing a bunch of BS his way. Well, after living together for 2 months, we had to be long distance for a month. Different countries, visa reasons. But we were planning for me to come and live with her after that and legalize my stay. Smack! So you're going at her place, her country, her turf. Not a good idea. Why can't she come to your turf? Whilst we were apart, she had been going out with a male friend whom I was aware of and had no problem with her being around. Smack! No, your girlfriend of 2 years, whatever it is, should not be hanging out with another dude. Because that's a guy just waiting around to hook up with her. Bad idea. I didn't say he didn't make mistakes here. Well, they would occasionally get drinks with each other, which usually wasn't one-on-one, and she would tell me when they went out. After flying to her country to live together, I knew something was off. When she left for work in the morning, I checked her laptop, which I knew was signed into WhatsApp. I found out that she had you-know-what with him whilst I was away because she was asking questions to ChatGPT while she was bleeding after SCX, thinking that it was her period, but that she hadn't bled for the following day. Her period had started, but it didn't bleed during that day for some reason. Sorry, guys, he's going on about that stuff, but that's what he wrote. I left immediately and booked a flight home. Well, why not? No reason to stay. She cheated on you. Now, some people might say, well, just because she was looking in ChatGPT doesn't mean anything. He knows her. He knows something's not right. He knows she's not acting right. And gee, who could it be with? The male friend she's hanging out with and drinking with. I sent her a photo of what I saw and ignored all her attempts to call me. She read my emails and saw the booked flight and confronted me at the airport. She told me it was only one night and she was drunk and she didn't feel anything. Well, that's pretty much what they all say. Blame it on the alcohol. It was only one time, and it didn't mean anything to her. So what? That makes it worse that it didn't mean anything to you, because it meant something to me, babe. But, we're done. Gotta get the fuck out of here so I can get on the plane. Well, I didn't respond to her and went through security. Eventually, I caved and started responding to her messages, but I still flew home. Why did you respond to her? If you were done with her, there's no point. I started asking her about what happened, and she explained the following. Okay, here we go. Make sure your BS detectors are fully charged for this song and dance, and some of this ain't going to surprise you. Well, one night she went for drinks at a get-together with her friend and some of her coworkers. Okay, this friend's the male friend who this guy had no problem with her hanging out with. She got really drunk because she was upset about some issues in the relationship that had been going on while we were apart. And because the people around her kept encouraging her to drink more, her friend drove her home and they had you-know-what. Do you hear what she did there? She was upset about some issues in the relationship. So already, it's his fault. Even though they were apart, God forbid, 1 month. She tells me that she wasn't aware of what was going on, that they sat on the sofa together, and he got on top of her. He was trying to kiss her, but she was moving her head out of the way. Oh, okay. Now, surprised maybe some women watching this would be like, wait a second here, maybe he did indeed do those things against her wishes, against her will. Well, spoiler alert, she's full of shit, and you're going to find out later. He was trying to kiss her, and she was moving her head out of the way. She had on loose shorts, so he was attempting to F her through her clothes, but was struggling. When he tried to remove the clothes, she realized what was happening and stopped him, which he did. Until I had asked her about what happened, she says that she thought that he was just drunk, and they had you-know-what because of that. But she didn't want to think about it and blocked it out of her mind. She was afraid to tell me because I would leave her. Well, no kidding, he would leave her, because when he did find out, he did leave her. So based on this, it's like, well, the guy, I gotta watch what I say here because it's YouTube, forced himself, if you will. And, she drank a lot and everything like that and invited him back to the house because she was upset about the relationship. Okay, guess she must be telling the truth. Wrong. I explained that it sounded like she was taken advantage of and wasn't at fault. Although getting incredibly drunk wasn't the best decision, and she should have communicated with me instead, I forgave her for not telling me about what had happened. Smack! Well, don't worry, this ain't gonna last long. Well, she had quit drinking and cut off all contact with that person as well as agreed to restart therapy. Things were looking fine. Hey, newsflash, if something indeed happened, wouldn't she go to the police? Make a report? Now, I know that statistically, a lot of things like that happen and they are not reported for all sorts of reasons, but still. But this is a bunch of crap. We visited each other back and forth for around a month and a half afterwards, spending about 4 weeks of that time together. So it sounds like she's on probation. Unfortunately, I still had doubts about the things she had told me. See? Always trust your gut, guys. I read her browser history, which includes some Reddit threads about wanting to kiss your friend even though you have a boyfriend. Well, that's strange, because if she was so true and blue to her boyfriend here, then why would she be looking that up, along with the ChatGPT stuff? One night, I questioned her more on what happened, and I told her that if there was anything I should know, she should tell me now. She didn't have anything to say, so I asked her about the Reddit threads I'd seen. She admitted that he had tried to kiss her previously in the month before anything else that happened, and that she had thought of kissing him. Oh, well, that's new. She thought about it before, ahead of time. And then, gee whiz, he shows up at her house, and, what happened. Now, that doesn't give an excuse for doing something against your will, but things aren't adding up. She said that she didn't remember, but the Reddit threads must be from having a bad thought while drinking and looking for support afterwards. Blame it on the alcohol. You notice there's always someone or something to blame for her actions here. I was upset to find this out, but I wasn't all too surprised. I told her if there was anything else, she should tell me now before I end up finding out anyway. What do you think? Is she going to tell him anything else? She said that after the unfortunate night had happened, she had met up with him again, but that nothing physical happened. Hang on. You all hear that? After the alleged incident where he forced himself, she said they met up again. If that had happened, why would she be meeting up with him if he forced himself? Again, more bullshit. However, she eventually admitted that one night they had gone for a drive together. They stopped off on a bridge and were watching the traffic pass by below, and he attempted to kiss her again, but this time she let him. So after the incident that she said that she didn't want, that was forced, now she's hanging out with him, and then she kissed him, but didn't stop him? Brother, it's time to move on. She's full of crap. She's mind-effing you. This is what some do. I was devastated once again, and after a few days of thinking, I broke up with her and have gone no contact. Thank the Lord. Now, let's be honest here. I think most guys, especially if they're in love with their girlfriend, which you can love her, but don't be in love with her, because otherwise you'll do stupid things. If she's crying and tells you some dude forced her, you would at least, most guys, for a little bit, hear it and want to believe it, even though it sounds awful. But still, there'd be a lot of other questions lingering that if it doesn't make sense. And now he knows that she was full of crap. So he's out of there. She has explained to me that during our time apart, she didn't feel like I was caring for her. Now she's blaming him. It's true that I wasn't putting in full amount of effort after her telling me she felt that I wasn't caring enough for her. I left my job because of the planned move and was just spending time with my friends enjoying life. I was taking her for granted and believed when we were together things would be fine, so I didn't put much effort into correcting her feelings. So in other words, they're apart for a whopping whole long month, and she felt like she's being neglected. That's what she's claiming here, to justify her actions. That's what they do. They're apart for a month. You think she can't handle herself? Not have some guy giving her attention all the time? Well, apparently not. I did do some things for her to try and make her happy, but generally they didn't work. That's because you can't make her happy. I was learning how to make her favorite foods, always called her pretty things throughout the day, and sent her lots of photos. So they're talking all the time. It still isn't enough for her. Well, she's lying. She just wants to blame you for cheating. We had video calls often, but it was disheartening to me how she never seemed happy to see me anymore, and I was losing hope myself. She was thinking of ending things, but wanted to see how things went when we were together again. Yeah, she was thinking about ending things because she was hooking up with her freaking friend, who didn't force himself on her. She wanted that because she was seeing him afterwards, making out with him, looking up things about kissing your friend. I mean, all these things. She's full of crap. She says she was spending more time with him as he gave her more care, and she wasn't getting it from me. The guy was obsessed with her and was obviously putting in a lot of effort. She wanted more human contact and to feel better, so she would go out with him and her coworkers. It's one thing to hang out with coworkers while your boyfriend's away. That's another thing to F one of them. She says that when they kissed, he was telling her how he would always care for her and protect her, and things that she wasn't feeling from me. Although she had already told him that if things didn't work out with me, that they would not be together. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a classic example. The girl's like, well, I'm not going to sleep with you. Then she sleeps with you. Oh, if we break up, we're not going to be together, and yet she's hooking up with that guy. She was on the verge of breaking up with me and had lost hope of things being fixed after that had happened. When he tried to kiss her, she let it happen, but he went for more, and she stopped him. You can't believe anything she says at this point. Should I forgive her? What has happened? Smack! Well, if you want to forgive her, okay, so you're not full of hate. Doesn't mean you got to forget. Doesn't mean you got to go back with her. I feel like no matter what, there is no excuse for cheating, and that it is a conscious, deliberate choice. There were so many moments when she could have told me what was going on or stopped things. However, I also feel like the things that happened weren't things that she wanted to happen, and I feel responsible for how I was treating her when we were apart. Smack! She's mind-effing you, dude. Don't fall for it. You're broken up with her. You went back with her. I'd forgotten that, and then you learned. Now don't waste your time. At the same time, that she has lied to me and changed her story makes me very suspicious and makes it hard to believe her way of describing the events. Any advice would be much appreciated. Well, here's the advice. If you're back in your home country, stay in your home country. Stay away from her. Block her. If you want to say something, say have a nice life. That ain't going to work. May the force be with you. No, I take that back. I don't want the force to be with her. Don't say anything to her. She doesn't deserve it because she's lying to you. She cheated on you. She's messing with you. She wants to blame it all on you. I haven't heard one single I'm sorry out of the entire time. Maybe I did, and maybe I read it and I don't remember. I don't hear apologizing for anything. It's all excuses. Either blaming the alcohol, blaming being lonely, blaming him, blaming this guy. But this is what they do, guys, or at least a hell of a lot of them do, or they're all capable of doing this crap. So you shouldn't fall for. Look how it's making this guy crazy. So if there's any cheating, move on. End of story. So, bro, if he's listening, you never know. Move on. You learn a hard lesson that it can happen, but don't let yourself be. Your brain is going to turn into freaking green goo pretty soon the way she's messing with your head. It's going to ooze out your goddamn nose and ears pretty soon. So end it with her, move on. And any of you guys ever experience something like this, you know what to do. Now I'm going to read a few comments here. I'm going to wrap this up. And oh, by the way, the whole comment section is in agreement with me. One guy says here, if she stopped him from penetrating, then why was she still concerned about the bleeding after sex? That concern strongly implies intercourse happened. Most likely she's trying to minimize so you'd give her a second chance. I question all that led up to the drunken night. There are a lot of choices that she could have made differently but did not. Then she goes out with him again and kisses him. And it sounds like she's blaming you for not giving her the care that she needed. Yeah, that's not taking responsibility or showing remorse. I think you know what to do. End of story. So there you go. Another one. Guy says, Darvo, trickle truth, minimalizing. She's a liar and a cheat and a manipulator. You should be happy you figured out how she is before investing many more years with her. By the way, bleeding means they had rough SCX most likely. She ever been bleeding after you and been doing the deed. Go find yourself, go get yourself in shape, and good luck. And one more. This guy says, admitting to you that she didn't tell you because she was afraid you would end the relationship tells you everything you need to know. She was worried about the repercussions of her actions, so she didn't give you all the info so you could make a decision from a place of knowing everything. That's not someone you want to try and build a future with. She needs to learn some life lessons if she wants to be an acceptable partner for anyone in the future, and she has already burned this relationship to the ground. Yes, it is burned to the ground. There's no coming back from this, and otherwise, again, his brain is going to turn to green goo and ooze out his damn nose. Now, fuck it. One more last comment here. This is a good one. He says here, this is a clear-cut case of breadcrumbing and gaslighting. She's giving you morsels of information, and there's always more that she adds on as the weeks go by and you feel more comfortable. She says the reason she did these things is because of relationship issues. He says this is an example of gaslighting and deflection and a lack of accountability. Her internet history clearly shows that she had thoughts about kissing him already, but she says she's saying that it doesn't want those things to happen. Again, more gaslighting. She did want it to happen. She cannot be trusted, and she's making you feel like it's your fault. She wanted to F him, and she did. And when she was drunk and inhibitions were low, she did what she always wanted to do. Take a step back and process things. Go no contact. Best of luck, bro, but it takes some time to take the wool off your eyes. So there you go. And guys, this is all too common. So for you watching this, either you've learned something new, or this just refreshed in your mind the type of crap that's said to guys. And the problem is that the more a guy is in love with a woman, the more inclined he's to believe this type of crap because he doesn't want to lose her. He doesn't want to lose because he's built an attachment to her. This is why I'm a strong believer, and I've been for a while now. You know, you're doing relationships. Okay, that's who you are. You can love your girl. Don't be in love with her, because most guys can't be in love with them and do what has to be done when in situations like this. They're afraid to check them. They're afraid to stand up for themselves because they have that attachment. They're going to lose her. But if a guy loves her, but is not in love with her, and loves himself more, he will stand up for himself. He will check her when BS happens and cut her off completely if it goes too far. But most guys can't do that. So that's a very important thing to mention while I'm on this particular subject here today. Love her, but don't be in love with her. So I wish this guy a whole lot of luck. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story you want me to cover, send it my way, strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. And if it's a good one, I'll definitely cover it. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.